Hey YouTube, this is Young Vintage Gamer here, and I'd like to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I know it's late, but Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Birthday, Jesus, and Happy Holidays. And and I would like to celebrate the holidays by I know it's late, but I still like to celebrate the holidays by reviewing video games. And what better way to celebrate the holidays of reviewing video games than to review the PlayStation 5. Now, just to be serious, I did not. I did an I did an unboxing video previously for this console, and I finally have some games for this console, so I'm finally able to make a review for this console. And with the proper materials, I can now edit the video and add some materials and information about this console that is currently available today for about this console. So, as you may know, there's two different versions of this console. This version I have is the disc version. As you can see, it's got the disc drive right here. And there's also a digital version that my best friend has. I don't have that version of the console. It doesn't have a disc drive, and you can only download games on that console. And this is all I have, so this is all I'm going to show you for this video. Yeah, let's see what this console has to offer, and yeah, let's check it out. In 2017, Nintendo has released the Nintendo Switch in March of 2017. So eventually Sony and Microsoft decided to release their consoles in 2020. That's when the architect of the PlayStation, chief of the architect of the PlayStation consoles, Mark Cerny, I might butchered it, came up with the PlayStation 5. The lead architect of the PlayStation 5 console, Mark, implemented a 2-year feedback cycle after the launch of the PlayStation 4. This entailed regularly visiting Sony's first-party developers at 2-year intervals to find out what concerns they had with shortcomings in Sony's current hardware and how such hardware could be improved in console refreshes or for the next generation. This feedback directly influences the priorities of the console development team during the development of the PlayStation 5, and a central challenge revolved around addressing the length of loading times for games. Cerny and said several developers, including Epic Games' Tim Sweeney, I might butcher it, told him that standard speed of a hard disk drive was now limiting a factor in a pushing game development. Slow data rates placed limits on the size of data being loaded into the game. The physical location of data on the storage medium and the duplication of data across the medium in order to reduce load times. An important goal was to find ways to reduce loading time, particularly in games that stream or dynamically load new game areas as the player moves through the game world. Jim Ryan, the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, stated that Sony had researched the, the feasibility of low-priced, reduced-spec version of the PlayStation 5, like what Microsoft had done with its low-power counterpart, the Xbox Series X. The Xbox Series S, and concluded that they believed such consoles do not fare well becoming obsolete so too fast. Marketing and release. Cerny first publicly described the new console in interview with a Wired magazine in April 2019 and early 2019. In Sony's financial report for the quarter ending of March 31st, 2019, affirmed that the next generation hardware was in development but would ship no earlier than April 2020 in the Second Wired magazine interview in October 2019. Sony said it intended to ship its next generation console worldwide by the end of 2020. The current hardware specifications were revealed October 2019 at CES 2020. Sony unveiled the official logo for the platform, which follows the similar minimalist styling of the previous PlayStation consoles and brand. Full specifications were given in an online presentation published by Sony and Digital Foundry on March 18th, 2020. Digital Foundry spoke with Cerny in detail and published a deep dive on April 2nd, and a major game library showcase has planned for June 4th, 2020, but was postponed until June 11th due to the George Floyd protests. This presentation was also premiered of the console's external hardware design. Unfortunately, when the console got released, there was a worldwide supply of the console remained low due to a global chip shortage from 2020 to 2023. Sony expected a short retail stock until 2023, so that's why it took so long to get a PlayStation 5, unfortunately, so apologies for that. Now, as you can see, Sony released two versions of the PlayStation 5 console when it first came out. One's the disc version on the left, and the right is the digital version where you can only download games on the console for download-only titles. Now, this version of the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4. I happen to own the disc version of the console. Here's a die shot of the PlayStation 5's SoC hardware, probably within the PlayStation 5. Now, the PlayStation 5's the original model features the console is released in November 12th, 2020, and the disc version of the console costs $500 in the US, and the digital version costs $400. As of December 20th, 2023, 50 million of them were sold. It features an Ultra HD Blu-ray DVD and download feature, a custom 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU, variable frequent up to 3.5 GHz, memory that consists of 16 gigabytes or 256-bit GDR6 SD RAM, 512 megabyte DDR4 RAM used as SD controller cache, and the base model of the PlayStation 5 with this model uses 125 gigabytes of storage, and it uses removable storage too as an option. And the display video outputs consist of HDMI 720p, 1080i, 1080p, and it can go up to 4K or 8K high definition. Oh wait, it's 4K actually. Anyway, the graphics consist of custom AMD RDNA 236 CSU's variable frequency up to 2.23 GHz, 10.28 TFLOPS peak. And the sound consists of a custom Tempest Engine 3D audio Dolby ATOMOS, I might butchered it, 7.1 surround sound, DTSX Blu-ray video and UHD Blu-ray video. And connectivity consists of Wi-Fi 6, either base or slim, but that's another story entirely. So this is my PlayStation 5. This is the disc version of the PlayStation 5. I don't have the digital version of the PlayStation 5 though, so this is all I'm going to show you. Now, as you can see, it sits on a stand. Here's the disc slot. And this is all I'm going to show you. Here's the USB port. And here's the Type-C connector. The eject button. The disc eject button, I mean. Yeah, this is the disc eject button, and this is the power button to turn it on. And it's a pretty bulky console. It's way bigger than the PlayStation 4. On the back of the console, it's got two USB ports on the back, an LAN connector, an HDMI port, and a power supply port. Now, it's got this stand on that I have locked in the vertical position, in a horizontal position, so you can place the console in the horizontal position, like so, like this. But you can detach the stand and rotate it, like so. And it has a nice compartment for the screw, which means you have no excuse of misplacing the screw, which is pretty convenient. I'll give Sony credit for that. Anyway, you can use the screw to lock the console in the vertical position stance by attaching the stand like this. There's a hole for the screw. So let's hook it up like so. Yeah, so it hooks up like so. And it screws in like so. So it locks the stand into place underneath the console so you can stand it in a vertical position. In case you want to stand the console up vertical. Like so. Yeah. Here's the PlayStation logo. And here's the Sony logo on the console itself. Now, let's take a look at the controller. Now, this is not a DualShock 5 controller. This is what's known as a DualSense controller. It's just like the DualShock 5 controller. It's got the analog sticks that click. It's got a touchpad like the DualShock 4. It's got the same trigger buttons and same bumper buttons. Except this controller has a Type-C connector, pin connector, much like the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It's got a PlayStation button, mute button, D-pad, X, square, triangles, and circle button, just like any other PlayStation controller. Analog sticks like usual. I gotta say, this controller is really comfortable to hold. I'll give Sony credit for making such a comfortable controller to hold. Sorry, my computer fell asleep. Anyway, let me show you the cord. Anyway, here's the power cord. It's identical to the PlayStation 4 now I think about it. The original PlayStation 4 model. Apparently. And now to show you the HDMI cord, which it's pretty much identical, but not really. But you could pretty much use any HDMI cord with this thing. And let me show you the games. Here's God of War on PlayStation 5, which I don't have, by the way. So, here's some of the games that I do have. I got Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation 5. And here's, hold on, let me move the console. Here's Crash, Rumble. And here's, Destruction All-Stars. Spider-Man, Miles on the PlayStation 5. Now, I must admit, I'm cheating slightly. This is Black Ops Cold War on PlayStation 4. There's version on PlayStation 5, I don't have it. There's Battlefield 2042. This is the PlayStation 5 copy, by the way. I got this in a special edition case. And here's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, the brand new one on the PlayStation 5. So there's a decent amount of games on the PlayStation 5, by the way. But this console on the disc version is backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4 games that I happen to own. And it's backwards compatible with every PlayStation 4 games, even the ones on PlayStation VR. The original PlayStation VR that the PlayStation 4 uses, as you can see here, like this one, for example. So, that's the PlayStation 5. Now, I don't have the digital version of the PlayStation 5. My best friend has it, but I'm not gonna go through all that trouble to to like show you the the digital version of the PlayStation 5s because this is all I'm gonna show you. But hope you guys get the idea. So that's the PlayStation 5. So in conclusion, what do I think about the PlayStation 5? Well, the console didn't have the much like the Xbox Series X and the Series S, it didn't have the best console launch overall because much like Microsoft with the Xbox Series X and S and the Series S, I mean, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox consoles have the same titles released that were also released on the previous generation consoles like that of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, so the PlayStation 5 didn't have the best console launch compared to Nintendo's wildly popular Nintendo Switch. But eventually, Sony did eventually work on making exclusives that would take advantage of the console's hardware, something that previous consoles can't play on. That the stuff like games that can't be played on the previous generation consoles. So I was in no hurry to get one of these, and I didn't expect to get one, but eventually I was able to get one for Christmas. Not this Christmas, but last Christmas. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do that unboxing video I uploaded a while ago, like about a couple years ago or so. But anyway, I'd like to give a big shout out and thank you to my father for getting me this console. And I would have never been able to make a review or do that unboxing video if it weren't for him. So thank you, Dad. I would have never been able to make this possible if it weren't for you, so thank you. So the reasons to own a PlayStation 5? Well, it does have some decent games, but I wouldn't necessarily buy this to play Call of Duty anymore because I had word that Microsoft is going to buy Call of Duty outright, so they're eventually going to stop making Call of Duty games on PlayStation eventually. So, if you plan on continuing to play Call of Duty on PlayStation, you're out of luck. But for other games like Battlefield or other PlayStation 5 titles that I've shown you, you could play those games on this, definitely. And there's definitely other games you could play on this console for that reason. And I heard, for just to own a PlayStation 5, basically. Now, as for the DualSense controller, I've seen PC gamers use that controller on their gaming PCs because of how comfortable the controller is. And I'll give Sony credit for that, for sure. So, other than Call of Duty, I think you can still get the PlayStation 5. If you happen to own the PlayStation 4 previously, definitely get the disc version of the PlayStation 5 because it's backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4, like I said. But if you don't want to own any discs, you can still get the digital version of the PlayStation 5, but when it comes to that version, you'll be under the mercy of the internet. Trust me. And you'll be relying on your credit card or debit card a lot. Now anyway, subscribe for more videos like this, and be sure to smash that like button if you like what you see here, and be sure to comment down below which version of the PlayStation 5 do you prefer. Do you prefer the disc version of the PlayStation 5, or do you prefer the digital version of the PlayStation 5? And furthermore, what PlayStation 5 game and PlayStation 4 game do you like to play on the PlayStation 5 overall? And also, hit the notification bell and share my channel and share this video and share my videos and check out my other videos and share them with everyone you know. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and hopefully you guys have a Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2025. This is me signing off, and I'll see you in 2025.